Hello and welcome back to another video. If you watched my last video, I am filming this on the same day, so that's why I have the same clothes on. I'm doing two videos in one day. So what we're going to be doing is just showing you the jobs that we're going to be doing through the winter, things that we need to do. Some things are bigger jobs than others, so some are big ones that we've sort of put off and left deliberately for the winter, because obviously the summer is quite busy with other things, and then obviously in the winter all the weeds die down, so it's easier to sort of make new paths and stuff. So I'm not sure, I'm on our original plot at the moment, I'm not sure we're going to be doing anything major here other than pulling all the stuff out and covering the bed. So we will cover them with either cardboard or some weed membrane, or we will put some green manure in to help get some nitrogen and some nutrients back into the soil, ready, and also ready for next year. And also we use like a leaf mulch or a leaf mould, so we use all the old leaves and put them down on the beds, and they sort of break down into the soil, putting lots of nutrients back in as well. So I'm going to take you up to the other plot, because that's probably where the most of the bigger work is going to be done. So I'm just going to show you this bit first. Obviously this is all going to be cleared, and then we were thinking about getting rid of this sort of path here, making this one big bed, but I'm not sure we need to, because this bed we didn't use at all in the summer. It had a lot of grass. Basically the grass had just taken over, so it was really hard sort of turf. So what we did is we just covered it with the cardboard. It'll be covered up until sort of spring, and hopefully that would be enough to kill all the grass. And then what we'll do is we will put down some nice bit of compost, maybe some manure in there, and that'll make that a nice bed ready to use for the summer. Right, so let's start with these beds. Yes, there is more than one bed there, even though it looks like one big bed. But there's my shadow always in the way. So this is a bed here, and then there should be a path, and then a bed, and then a path, and then a bed, and path. We did have some like wood chip down, so you can see some of it, but a lot of it has sort of broken down. And we never actually put any weed membrane down, we just put some wood. But obviously now the weeds go through that. So if I show you, like, so this is a path. Between this string and this string is a path, but these have all started to make an appearance. So one of our jobs for the winter is to make them into better paths without all the weeds. So we will get some weed membrane, we will put that down, and then cover it with wood chip, because we think that looks quite good. So that's what we're going to be doing on this area here. So in the polytunnel, basically all we do in here is just clear everything. We may try and grow something in here. We have tried before through the winter, however it tends to attract mice and maybe rats, but definitely mice, and they tend to eat it. So what we might do this year is try and grow stuff in here, but actually see if we can somehow cover it to stop them. Mice are quite difficult to stop because they can chew through a lot of things, and they can fit through very small gaps. So before, I put in here a load of beetroot, and it just all got eaten. The only thing that was okay was spring onions. So maybe we'll try some spring onions in here through the winter, and maybe some winter lettuce as well, and try and grow that in the polytunnel to actually utilise this sort of space. So this is our other bed. This is a one large bed that comes up to here. So again, with this path here, we'll be putting down some weed membrane and some wood chip, and along there as well, stop the weeds. So that's another winter job. This is literally going to be, so we're digging up the potatoes, this is all going to be cleared, and we will try to cover this with might even do this with green manure, because it is a large area. We haven't got enough cardboard So we might just literally put green manure in the whole of this bit, and then it'll be ready for squash. Squashes are going back in here next year, in this sort of side. This side doesn't get as much sun, and we've noticed this year that the squashes there didn't do particularly well. So we're going to leave this as one big bed, and then maybe up to about here we'll put in some smaller beds along there, and we'll grow things that are better suited to the shade. So maybe our beetroot did quite well in a shadier area. It does get sun in the morning in the summer, but then it goes behind these trees here, and then it doesn't get any sun for the rest of the day. And maybe some spinach, rocket, things like that we're going to put in there. Underneath all this growth here, believe it or not, is a pond. You might be able to just see the edge of the pond there. It hasn't got a lot of water in it, but what we want to do is sort of rescue it. So we want to empty the whole thing out, because there is a lot of silt at the bottom, so there's only like a little bit of water, the rest is just all horrible stuff. So we want to clear it all out, save some of the reeds and stuff to put back in, make around the outside pretty, and make it actually a useful thing for some wildlife, and actually make it look pretty, because it obviously doesn't look very pretty at the moment. So that's our winter plan as well. It's easier to do in the winter, as I said, because all the weeds die down, and the wildlife don't tend to need to use it as much. I might be wrong in saying that, but they will need it by the spring. So it'll be an early winter job for us to do. And another job that we're going to be doing through the winter is making like a bin, if you like. Is that the right word for it? So you get chicken wire. I'll do a video of us doing it at some point. Chicken wire, make a frame, stick a load of leaves in it. That's it, simple. But what we do is what we did last year is we didn't put it in like a bin. We just put it straight in the compost, but we want to keep it separate this year. And what we do is you collect some leaves. If you run over them with a lawnmower, it breaks them up a bit more, so it speeds up the process, and then you put it in this bin and they break down. It can take, I think, about a year or so, but it's good for your soil. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing through the winter. We'll also be using some of our own compost to top up our raised beds. So this is our massive raised bed. It is really high. It's like pallets. But obviously where the soil is in there, it's gone down. At the bottom of this bed is like I think, is it called a hoogie culture? I might be saying that completely wrong. But basically it's got a load of logs, sticks, twigs, leaves, everything, old cuttings at the bottom, and then we put soil on the top. So it's all gone, it's all broken down a bit, so we need to top that up. So that's another job for the winter. Once this is cleared, we'll be topping up all our sort of raised beds with either our own compost if we've got enough, or some horse manure, leaves, anything like that. Just be topping up our beds, making them nice and healthy, ready for growing in the summer. I'm going to harvest some of these later. So that's all our jobs at the moment. I'm sure there'll be plenty more. Oh, that's another one. We need to cut. This is our plum tree, so this should have been done like end of summer. So we're getting a bit late, so this would need to be done very soon. We need to prune our plum tree because it is quite big and it needs it. It's got a lot of scraggly little bits, so that's another thing we're going to be doing as well. But that is, at the moment, as I say, the end of what we're going to be doing through the winter. As I say, I'm sure there'll be plenty more. I'm sure we'll add to it. But that's the plan so far. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know any big jobs or any jobs that you're going to be doing through the winter that you don't normally do in the summer or can't do in the summer for whatever reason. Mainly because of time for us. But let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.